Alright fight fans, welcome back to the channel. It's your guy Xexia, and you know what time it is. We are on the cusp of another massive UFC event, and I mean massive. We're talking about UFC 316, live from the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey on June 7th, 2025. And let me tell you, this card is absolutely stacked from top to bottom, promising fireworks, drama, and potentially some career-defining moments. I've been poring over the matchups, looking at the styles, the recent performances, the intangibles, and I am absolutely buzzing to share my thoughts with all of you. The energy for this one, folks, it's palpable. Newark always brings a special kind of intensity, and with the fights we have lined up, I expect the roof to come off that place. I've got my notes, I've got my gut feelings, and I've got some predictions that might just surprise a few of you out there. We're going to break down the biggest fights, look at the paths to victory, and I'm going to give you my fearless picks for who gets their hand raised. This is what we live for, isn't it? The debate, the anticipation, the sheer thrill of watching the best in the world lay it all on the line. I know you're all eager to get into it, and believe me, so am I. We've got title implications, grudge matches, rising stars, and established veterans all looking to make a statement. So no more preamble, no more teasing. We're here to talk fights, and that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm ready, I hope you're ready. Let's not waste any time. We're diving straight into the main card. Kicking off our main card analysis, we have a welterweight clash that just screams excitement. Kevin Trailblazer Holland taking on Vicente, the silent assassin Luque. Now this is an intriguing fight for so many reasons. Holland, we know, is always game, always talking, and possesses that incredible reach and unorthodox striking. He's looked pretty good since his brief flirtation with 170 and moving up to this 160 pounds catchweight, or perhaps it's a new division, but he says he feels stronger, more himself. And Luque, well, Luque is a warrior, a man who brings the fight every single time, known for his granite chin and his finishing instincts. This one has fight of the night potential written all over it, doesn't it? But here's where I lean, and some might find this interesting. I'm actually going with Kevin Holland here, and I'm predicting a third-round TKO. Why, you ask? A few key factors. Firstly, Holland's reach is going to be a significant problem for Luque. Vicente likes to get in close, to brawl in the pocket, but Holland is so adept at fighting long, using those straight punches and that awkward movement to keep opponents at bay. We've seen Luque struggle a bit with rangier, more elusive strikers in the past, and Holland fits that bill perfectly. The power at this weight for Holland, if he's truly comfortable, could be a real game changer. Furthermore, and it pains me to say this because I'm a huge Luque fan, but the damage he's absorbed in some of his recent wars has to be a concern. He's been in some absolute battles, and while his heart is undeniable, chins don't last forever in this sport. Holland, on the other hand, still seems relatively fresh, and his power, especially if he's not depleting himself too much with a tough weight cut, could be the deciding factor. I see Holland using his length to pick Luque apart from the outside, frustrating him, and then, as Luque tries to close the distance perhaps a bit desperately in the later rounds, Holland will find that opening for the finish. It'll be a tough, gritty fight, but I see Holland's unique style prevailing. Next up we have a fascinating bantamweight bout that's got the hardcore fans salivating. Mario Bautista versus the Bellator bantamweight champion Patchy Mix, making his highly anticipated UFC debut. Now this is a huge test for Bautista, who's been on a very impressive run, stringing together some solid wins and showing real improvements in his game. He's well-rounded, he's durable, and he's proven he belongs in the conversation. But Patchy Mix, folks, Patchy Mix is a different animal altogether. We're talking about a guy with an absolutely elite record, a grappling wizard with a knack for finding submissions from anywhere and everywhere. When you look at Patchy Mix, his resume speaks for itself. He's fought and beaten some of the best bantamweights outside the UFC, and his finishing ability is just off the charts. He doesn't just win, he dominates. He's relentless with his takedowns, and once he gets a hold of you, it's usually a matter of time before he finds that neck or a limb. Bautista, while skilled, tends to fight a slightly safer, more methodical style. He's not typically a guy who's going to go out there and take massive risks, which is smart, but against someone like Mix, you almost have to be perfect defensively, or he will capitalize. So, for this one, I'm going with Patchy Mix, and I'm going to say he gets it done relatively early. I'm predicting a late first-round TKO, or more likely a submission for Mix. I just think his grappling is on another level. Bautista is tough, no doubt, and he'll try to keep it standing, use his movement, but Mix is so persistent with his takedown attempts. I anticipate Mix will eventually get this fight to the mat, and once it's there, his BJJ is just so slick, so dangerous. It might be a scramble, it might be a positional masterclass, but I see Mix finding an opening and locking something up before that first round is over, or perhaps getting a TKO via ground and pound if Bautista defends the submission attempts desperately. A huge statement for Mix in his UFC debut. Alright, let's move on to a middleweight contest that presents a classic veteran versus rising contender dynamic. Kelvin Gastelum taking on the powerhouse Joe Pyfer. This is a really interesting fight because both men have so much to prove, albeit for different reasons. Gastelum, a former interim title challenger, has been on a tough run lately. We know the talent is there, the boxing, the durability, but he's struggled to find consistency and has dropped some crucial fights. He's looking to show he's still a force to be reckoned with at 185 pounds. Can he turn back the clock and halt the momentum of a dangerous up-and-comer? On the other side, you have Body Bag's Joe Pyfer. This guy is an absolute physical specimen. The power he possesses in his hands is terrifying, and he's shown he can end a fight with a single shot. He's big for the division, he's strong, and he carries that aura of invincibility that young, confident fighters often have. He's had a couple of setbacks, sure, but he seems to have learned from them and is coming into his own. This is, without a doubt, the biggest test of his career. Can he handle the experience, the craftiness, and the proven chin of a guy like Kelvin Gastelum? That's the million-dollar question here. My prediction for this one: I'm leaning towards Joe Pyfer. I think he gets it done either by a late-round TKO or a clear-cut decision. Here's my thinking. Pyfer's size and raw power are going to be major factors. Gastelum has always been a bit undersized for middleweight, relying on his speed and boxing to overcome bigger opponents. However, Pyfer isn't just big, he's explosive. While Gastelum's durability is legendary, the man can take a shot. I believe the cumulative effect of Pyfer's power, combined with Gastelum's recent decline, will start to show as the fight wears on. Pyfer might not get the early knockout because Kelvin is so tough, but I see him consistently landing the harder shots, potentially wearing Gastelum down and either forcing a stoppage in the third or doing enough damage to cruise to a decision victory. Now we get to the co-main event of the evening, and this one, fight fans, is a blockbuster with massive implications for the women's bantamweight division. We have the former champion, the Venezuelan vixen Juliana Pena, taking on the two-time PFL champion and Olympic gold medalist Kayla Harrison. This is a fight that has been talked about for a long time, a clash of styles, a clash of personalities, and a fight that could very well determine the next title challenger. The narratives here are incredible. Pena, the ultimate underdog who shocked the world, looking to reclaim her throne. Harrison, the dominant force from another organization, looking to prove she's the best in the world, period. Kayla Harrison's transition to 135 pounds is, for me, the biggest X factor in this fight. We know she's an incredibly dominant grappler at 145 and 155 pounds. Her judo is world-class, her top control is suffocating. But making bantamweight consistently and maintaining her strength and crucially her cardio is a huge question mark. We've seen dominant grapplers struggle when they can't impose their will immediately or when the fight extends into the later rounds against someone who can push the pace. And Juliana Pena is exactly that kind of fighter. She is all grit, all heart, and she has proven she can go 5 hard rounds and maintain an insane pace. This is going to be a controversial pick, I know it, but I am predicting Juliana Pena to win this fight by a close, very possibly contentious split decision. Here's why. I think Harrison will have success early. She'll likely look for takedowns, try to implement her grappling game. But Pena is so incredibly tough to hold down, so active from her back, and she will make Kayla work for every single position. As the fight progresses into the 3rd, 4th, and potentially 5th round, I believe Harrison's weight cut and the relentless pressure from Pena will start to take their toll. I see Pena's cardio, her sheer tenacity, and her ability to just keep coming forward being the difference. It'll be a dogfight, it'll be close, but I see Pena edging it out on the scorecards due to volume and her will to win in those championship rounds. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for, the main event of UFC 316, a bantamweight title fight rematch that has the entire...
If your heart races when the cage door locks, you're a true fight fanatic. If you remember Merab kissing O'Malley's back mid-fight, you know this isn't just any rivalry. If you think O'Malley's got something to prove, you're not alone. Last September we saw it all. Merab Dvalishvili dominated O'Malley without even breaking a sweat. The man was literally goofing around, dropping kisses on O'Malley's back, fighting with one hand tied behind his back, and still walked away with the belt. But this time, no games, no showboating. Merab says he's done being playful. Now he's looking for real damage. He wants the finish, and he's geared up to deliver. O'Malley, though, is not the same fighter from last year. He's recovered from injury, cleaned up his act, and says he's more focused than ever. Training with legends like Israel Adesanya, ditching distractions, and welcoming a new baby just 2 weeks before fight night. He's calling out Merab's holes and says, if he doesn't touch me, I win. But can he really keep the machine off him for 5 straight rounds? Here's the real kicker. This fight's not just about gold, it's legacy. For O'Malley, a loss means the title dream could slip away for good. For Merab, it's a chance to cement his dominance, to leave no doubt. My prediction? Brace yourself, Suga fans. Merab's relentless pressure, takedowns, and ground and pound are just too much. 5th round TKO. The machine rolls on. Are you ready, UFC fans? Because this is going to be a war.
And there you have it, fight fans. Those are my fearless predictions for the UFC 316 main card, coming at you live from Newark. From Holland's striking prowess to Patchy Mix's debut dominance, Pyfer's power, Pena's incredible grit, and culminating in what I believe will be Merab Dvalishvili's crowning moment against Sean O'Malley. It's going to be an unforgettable night of fights. That much I can guarantee. These are just my takes, of course. And in this crazy sport of mixed martial arts, anything can and often does happen. That's the beauty of it, isn't it? Now I want to hear from all of you. What are your predictions for UFC 316? Who do you have winning these incredible matchups? Do you agree with my calls, or do you think I'm completely off my rocker on some of these? Let me know down in the comments section below. Let's get the debate going. Let's talk some MMA. That's what this community is all about. Sharing our passion for the sport and chopping it up about these amazing athletes and the fights they put on for us. If you enjoyed the breakdown and the predictions, please do me a huge favor. Hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future content, including post-fight analysis and more breakdowns. I appreciate every single one of you for tuning in. Until then, stay safe, stay fighting, and I'll catch you next time.